Look at this beauty, my loves. It was a cold, snowy day. We actually got snowed in, and I was just craving some delicious comfort food. So I made some green spaghetti. It is so delicious. It's creamy. It has poblano peppers and cilantro. I'm gonna show you guys how to make it. For this recipe, we're going to use some thin spaghetti. It doesn't have to be any particular brand. A small onion, garlic. I'm using 6 poblano peppers, but you can use 4 or 5, whatever you have on hand. I'm using 2 cans of the media crema, 7.6 ounces. You can use more or less depending on how soupy you want your cream. And then I'm using 1 whole Philadelphia cream cheese, and this can be any brand. I just prefer Philadelphia. My mozzarella to go on top, and then some sour cream. You can use your favorite sour cream. Mine happens to be this Salvadorian sour cream, and then a stick of butter. It does not matter if it's salted, not salted, or what brand. I just happen to have Kerrygold because it's my favorite. But it's very much a flexible recipe. This does make a difference. I think this is what gives it that, I don't know, really good flavor. So this I do not switch for anything. But yes, so let's get started. There's so many different ways you can roast your peppers, but this has been the easiest for me. So I'm going to rub them down really well with some oil, and then I'm just going to put them in this tray, and I'm going to broil them for a few minutes, flipping them around until they get nice and blistery. And then while they're broiling, I'm going to go ahead and start boiling my water. So I'm just going to add water for pasta. So here I'm just flipping the peppers around, making sure they're getting nice and blistery. So they're not ready just yet. I'm going to pop them in for a few more minutes. But like you can see where I just keep flipping them around until I see they're ready. Now you can see they're really charred and blistery and ready to go. So a nice little trick is to throw your pasta up against a wall or a cabinet, and if it sticks, it's ready to go. Here we're adding the 2 creams to our blender, and then we're also going to add in the sour cream. I added about half of a container, and then a whole garlic, and then the whole cream cheese. I'm also going to add a bushel of cilantro, so I'm going to just roughly chop it and add it. These are my favorite spices, so every meal that I make pretty much has ground cumin, granulated garlic, and onion. Even if I put the actual ingredients like garlic and onion a lot, I still use all the seasonings. And basically you just want to season everything generously. Almost never do people complain that it has too many spices. Cumin, this is garlic. I was like, whoa. Cumin is the only one that I will use like 1, 2, 3. Not too much because it's a very powerful spice. But everything else you can always add if needed. This is probably the most time-consuming part. So once you've let your peppers sit there and sweat while you did everything else, those be so pliable and easy to peel. So here I'm just de-seeding them because we don't want it to be too spicy. And then we're going to start peeling the skin. So this is just so that you don't get all this tough plasticky skin in your sauce. So you're just going to want to clean them up as best as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to put them in the blender, but I like to take off as much as possible. Once you've cut up, I also added the small onion to the broiler. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but I did throw it in the oven. So once you've got your peppers all nice and cut, you're just going to go ahead and add them to your blender and start blending. So here, you guys, I'm so extra. I added way too much, but it still works. To this, I'm also going to add some chicken bouillon, and then I also added about half of a cup of water. I should have saved my pasta water, but I forgot before I dumped it in the sink. So we're also going to saute some butter, and then I added some avocado oil, and to that you're going to add your sauce, and then you're just going to mix this all together and get it well incorporated. And then you're going to wait till it gets to this bubbly stage. Once it bubbles like this and simmers, it thickens up a little bit, and then you can go ahead and add your pasta. So I add the pasta a little bit at a time just because I don't want to add too much pasta and it soaks up all the sauce that I just sauteed. So I just added a little bit at a time because you do want it to, be a little creamy because the pasta will absorb a lot of this sauce. So just keep adding to your liking. I think this is about enough and it's ready to be served. It is the most delicious pasta. I hope you guys give it a try. If you do, leave it in the comments and let me know what you think. Here we're just topping with a little bit of cilantro and mozzarella. It's the perfect comfort food when you're cold and you just want to feel like you're eating a hearty, warm meal. It's so delicious. And the sauce only gets better the next day because all the flavors just keep infusing. It's so good.